blood, gore, assassins, and ageism. Netflix original movie, Polar. Hey y'all, it's your Twisted Girl next door here, and today I am doing a review of the Netflix original movie, Polar. The world's top assassin, Duncan Visla, is settling into retirement when his former employer marks him as a liability to the firm. Against his will, he finds himself back in the game, going head-to-head with an army of young killers. Okay, so for those who may not know, this Netflix original movie is based off of a graphic novel series / web comic series of the same name. And that's what first intrigued me to check out the movie. I mean, I saw the trailer and I thought, this looks really cool. Like, it was like cool, action and things of that nature. And overall, something was missing. I don't know. It was a whole lot of stuff, but also like a whole lot of stuff you don't want either. This movie was something. Like, there were some good elements throughout the movie, but those great or / good elements were overshadowed by a lot of stuff that just was not good about this film. And there were times when, as I watched it, I'm thinking, I don't think I'm the target audience. I don't think anyone over the age of 14 may be the target audience of this film. Anyone over the 14 who's not a horny teenager who is probably sneaking and watching this Netflix movie at night when their parents have gone to bed to get a lot of boob shots and people getting blown up with guns. The plot is, simple enough. It's very much this idea of there's this assassin company. You don't get too many details about what the assassin company is about, where exactly and who exactly they work for, and things of that nature. But this assassin company basically makes it so that at the age of 50, the assassins are allowed to retire. And they're allowed to retire with all the money of their pension and stuff, which is like millions of dollars, depending on how long they've been an assassin. And so what happens is the boss, I guess, of this assassin company decides he wants to keep the money. So he's going to kill off anybody who's about to retire. Capitalism. Yeah. So I like the simplicity of the plot because it wasn't convoluted. There was humor. I mean, which surprised me. Some of the humor I thought was, once again, 14-year-old boy humor. But there were some moments that were kind of quirky and funny, and just the way it was shot, it worked. So, which was surprising to me. I didn't think there would be as much humor as there was from what I got from the initial trailer that I saw. But the humor that we did get, it helped in the midst of a lot of the other things that we could have done without. The heart. Which is weird for me to say, but these are the moments I'm talking about when I'm mentioning the good moments, the subtle moments in there, because in the midst of this movie, Duncan is trying to have a normal sort of life or try to figure out what retirement looks for him as an assassin, as a retired assassin. And in those moments, you have the character Camille, played by Vanessa Hudgens, which she did a really great job, right? She had this character that's kind of meek and gentle. It seems like, the world has done some things to her, and they seem to connect. And those moments really work. And if this movie was simply about a hitman who was trying to lead a normal life, and you're just watching like a quirky drama, dark comedy of him trying to do that, this would be a great movie, probably, because they'd just be focusing on that and, throw in a killing scene here and there. Oh my gosh. All right, so I don't even want to call it like female exploitation. I just want to say, I don't understand. It's like 2019 at this point. The idea that you just need a whole bunch of bare boob shots and women getting their butt smacked constantly in a very just empty kind of way, and being naked and being screwed literally and figuratively throughout the film. It's like, where are we? Like early 90s action films? I get it. I mean, it was like they were trying to be edgy by having a lot of, like, boob shots and, like, women snorting certain drugs and doing drugs off of certain bodies and stripping and stuff like that. And you're just watching it like, who is this for? Like, don't get me wrong. I am not someone who's like, I don't like nudity or anything like that. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I like boobs. I love mine. My boobs are great. You know, I think boobs can be really good. And I don't think, nudity is inherently bad. Even nudity of women. What my issue is when it's so overly done and just thrown in there for, like, eye candy, or just thrown in there with no rhyme or reason except, look at us, we're so edgy because we're showing, like, boobs. That's when I have an issue with it. That's when I'm like, and especially when it's just the women who are constantly naked. I think I saw one bare butt shot of a guy, and that was it. Yeah, it was like that. Oh, and the sex scenes were ridiculously long. Like, there was one sex scene that went on for so long. Like, there were cut shots of different positions and different parts in the house where they were screwing, like, way longer than it needed to be. And once again, in the midst of that, the girl is the one that's completely exposed the whole time, and it's just like, what is this? Why is this? The villain and supporting characters were so cartoonish. Like, not even like that cool cartoonish where, like, let me say, I tend to like when comic books are adapted to live action, because I like comic books, and I like when they're adapted, not to the point where they try to overshadow the comic, but where they pay homage to the comic, but also make something of their own that people can take it in a different medium, right? A story in a different medium, because comic books are its own medium, and, film is its own medium. And I think when it's done right, it can be really cool, and especially when they do it in a style that's, like, kind of hinting at the fantastical comic book world, but still rooted in reality to some degree. And that can be done with characters too, and their acting and things of that nature. And there was just something about these supporting characters that were obnoxious, where they were totally cartoonish to the point where you couldn't take them seriously, not even the main villain. And, it just descended into, once again, I was like, is this like straight out comedy at this point? Like, there were moments where I'm like, maybe this is like a straight up dark comedy. Maybe that's really what they want me to believe. Like, this isn't totally a drama action, type thing. Maybe it's really a dark comedy, because I really can't take these characters seriously in any regard. And the problem with that was, when they focused on Duncan and Camille's characters, that really worked. That seemed rooted in something, even his action scenes. But then when they went over to the supporting characters, their whole thing to try to get him, like the young killers and stuff, it fell flat because they tried so hard to make them edgy and bad and things of that nature that it didn't land. Oh yeah, there are definitely trigger warnings in this movie. There's an animal death, which was totally unnecessary. And then it was played for jokes later, the animal death. And I'm so tired of this. I'm going to say this till the cows come home. In every review where someone pulls this crap, it's just so lazy. Drug use. There's drug use. There's lots of drug use. Because, they're being edgy. Extreme, and graphic violence. Yes. But you already kind of got that. If you're watching this, you probably already knew there's going to be extreme violence. And they show, like, it all. And there's also reference to rape. Not shown or anything like that, but there's a reference to it. I am on the fence. I'm on the fence about whether this is stab approved. There was a lot of stabbing in this movie, too, funny enough. I think if you are a fan of the graphic novel, watch it. Fine. You'll probably be mad. I don't know. Maybe you'll like it. I don't know. I from what I read about the graphic novel is that there wasn't a lot of dialogue in the novel. So, there wasn't a lot of dialogue in it. So, maybe that was the issue, because they tried to make a movie that did have dialogue. So, maybe that's where it fell flat. I don't know. Yeah, I think if you're a fan of the graphic novel, watch it, because you're going to anyway, because you're curious. And I think if you're not, maybe give it a go, but go into it knowing that, I would say watch it for Vanessa Hudgens' performance, watch it for the main character's performance, watch it for those moments, but know that you're going to get a lot of other moments where, one, you should not be watching this with kids anywhere in the vicinity. No, there's just, oh my gosh. It's not the worst movie that I've ever seen. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it wasn't as good as that trailer had promised at all. Okay, so did you watch Polar? What did you think? Let me know. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. And also, be sure to subscribe so that you are the first to know when I post my videos of all things horror and dark fantasy. Thanks for watching. Let's get creepy together.